3 different executives, you know, because they're pressed for time anyway. They just want to see it whenever they can see it. So I get that. But what about the people that I work for, my bosses? What are they going to think about all this?
I think they're really going to like it because it's going to save you money. You don't have to print, bind, and ship all of those copies. And it's going to add a lot of value without adding much time because you're just going to use a template each time.
Okay. All right. So now, how would this change what my writers do? I mean, are they going to have to learn a new style of writing? Are they going to become bloggers?
Not unless you want them to be. I mean, one basic tenet of technical writing is to break your writing up into small chunks that the reader is going to want to finish the entire document. We'll take that same principle and just apply it to the website.
Gotcha. Okay, so what you're telling me is basically 4 things. Is that we won't significantly change our writing style. We can use this template over and over. It provides a secure way to access the information. And our client can search for any information whenever they want it.
Right.
Well, I'm sold. Thank you. All right, and team?
No problem.
We're going to start on this right away, okay? This is a new idea, so it's going to take a lot of teamwork to get through it. So what I need us to do is work together on this. So Anthony and Trevor, my graphic designers, what I want you all to do is maybe come up with some sort of introductory animation, like maybe have, you know, AT&T symbol like real big and then just fades into right there in the corner. That way we can start off on it. So I'm going to need you all to get to work on that, all right? And also, I want to make sure that all of our graphics and all that stuff is web-enabled right now. So we're going to need to get started on that right away, and we just want to make sure everything transitions over the web as smoothly as possible. So for our technical writers, Neil, Dr. Rain, what I'd like you guys to do is just make sure, go back over the proposal, make sure it's in manageable chunks. You know, it should be for the most part right now, but just double check it, make sure it's web ready. Fair enough? All right. Okay. Oren, my programmer. All right, what I'd like you to do is get with Jordan and do a quick HTML course, HTML5 course, just a crash course. You already know HTML, you already know CSS, so it shouldn't be that much. So I think if we can get that together, it should be a breeze, right? And now for our knowledge managers, Liz, Morgan, I want you to try and start finding other media that sells AT&T. You know, we want short clips that just kind of tell our story in different ways. So if we can find like animation clips that show how our systems work, or maybe some interviews with our executives, or even our like satisfied clients. So I think if we keep it short and simple, that should get us off to a really good start. So we can do just about anything you guys can imagine, all right? So don't be shy about ideas. We want to expand on this idea of, you know, an interactive experience that engages the client on a lot of different levels. So Jordan, I want to thank you for your help, and I want you to keep up the good work.
Thank you. Are there any more questions?
Well done, well done. You mentioned something besides HTML5.
CSS3. CSS3.
CSS3. Clue me in on that.
So, not that good with web stuff, but I did talk to somebody about this.
Okay.
And they said CSS3 is the newest version, and it makes it possible for all of your content to fit to different screens. So
Okay.
it'll reformat it on its own. You don't have to
Gives you
use
the
other
dynamic concept, content that you said was great benefit of this for any of your devices.
Right.
Like if you think of HTML as like the framework, then CSS is the, you know, furniture or whatever goes on the walls kind of thing. So,
But the reason that it's CSS3 is because earlier versions you had to use other things along with it to get it to fit. But CSS3 does it all itself.
Okay, that's crucial. That was really good. As far as this ability to drill in and pull out, we've seen some presentations using Prezi. They give you this instant kind of ability to do that. Within this context, is there a similar way to get that kind of drill down and maybe even it's like the diagrams where you have call outs and you can actually focus somebody's attention to certain pieces. How does that get managed in this particular?
Right. So you can add anything you want in here. So you
Okay.
could have any type of flash animation you wanted
Okay.
that might help. I think a better way to do it than continuous scroll, like our example is to have one section at a time and
Okay.
have them click to the next section. So that within that one section, you can have your flash animation,
Okay.
then you can move to text, then you can move to video.
Because that's usually the way you have to build these, especially in a federal environment. You have a certain, these volumes, and they're isolated because they basically tear them apart and give them to the groups, right? So being able for them to drill down, but then also getting access to it at the right level. I think this is a really great way for that executive who's got just getting the high level stuff. Then if they're a little more technically savvy, they may drill into whatever particular piece they want, and you give them application for that. So it's good. It's a great story. Well done.
Thanks.
Anything about the presentation?
Well, again, very polished. I thought the scenario you built was very strong. You got me engaged on it because I see myself doing that a lot. So that was very appropriate. So it made it very personal, very direct to me. You included everybody in the room. I thought that was an excellent technique to make sure everybody's engaged and they're hanging on your last words for sure, where you can do a nice little recap of it. So visually, very well done, and the structure was great. So
I appreciate it.
well done.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, last but not least,